Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel, and I'm with Justin, my friend. And
I
today we're going to be talking about Malaysia's biggest tragedy, 1969, May 13th.
so the build-up. What led to this tragic of a week? Malaysia had always had a problem with racial issues, like there was a rampant anti-Chinese ideas in Bumi Traya circles because the Chinese people had what success and a lot of control in economy and owned a lot of businesses, and this had made Putras angry and had ideas of Malaysia for Malaysians and etc. had grown. So the election. So in 1969, a general election had occurred, and groups like the Malaysian Democratic Action Party, uh, the Gerakan Party had done pretty well in election. The alliance, which had majority seats at the time, had lost the election, causing the party to lose its two-thirds of majority.
The storm, the riots. After the election, the Bhumiputras blamed other Asians, especially Chinese. This has led to their riots. The riot, which started off peaceful but then escalated very quickly after onlookers had taunted them. This has caused them to throw stones and bottles. The beginning riot had led to 8 Chinese dead. After this, it spread very quickly, leading to more deaths. 80 Chinese citizens were reported in the hospital dead, slashed with parangs. And as the days went by, arson was rampant and vehicles were destroyed and shops were looted, especially Chinese shops. The police had reported 146 dead. However, outside sources claim that up to 600 to up to 800 people had died. The police. The police used tear gas to quell the riots. But that didn't work very well. So a curfew was placed by the government, and anybody not following were to be shot. Reporters say that the police participated in attacking Chinese citizens. Police were also told to clear out dead bodies and not record them, causing the real number of deaths to be unknown. Another reason for a shaky number of deaths was because of how bodies were thrown into rivers and could not be found. Next, the army. The riots were getting vastly out of hand. So the government had mobilized the army. The army had also participated in the anti-Chinese acts. Witnesses report army figures shooting Chinese shops for no apparent reason. Oh, the aftermath. After the riots had quelled, it had it this something that has been ingrained in Malay society had been born, and that was Ruku Negara. Ruku Negara was made to unite Malaysia together as Malaysians. The riots led to people to lose support of the prime minister. This riot is usually forgotten and is used as a way to put down protests in the country.
Now, the timeline of what happened in the tragic that happened. So, in 1969, 10th of May, the May general elections had led the MUDA party to win seats, and the riot began at 6 p.m. because people were mad. And the riot started off peaceful, just standing out and protesting, kind of like protesting, but as like after taunts from onlookers, it changed to violence act against people. Bumi Putras who participate in the riots branch off to commit violence in Chinese sectors. Actions. The government announced that a 24-hour curfew to stop the riots, and police could shoot and kill people who weren't aware of the curfew at 7:35, which led to more deaths and injuries. The military was also mobilized at 10 p.m. to stop the riots and to push the curfew. And at 10:30 p.m., the army kills hundreds of Chinese for no reason because they can. From 14th to 16th May, more atrocities and looting continues, and a second smaller riot leads to 15 Indians dead.
So now it's time for our discussion. So what we know is that the Bumiputras and Chinese have always had a bad relationship in the 19,000s Malaysia. The general election had been the catalyst for the riots. The riots had led to 146 deaths, but there could be more, and both the police and army were corrupt. So Justin, do you have any input on the May 13th riot?
Well, like what we know here, it's kind of like we know that the Buriputras and the Chinese have like attention and like attention there, and like we know that something bad might happen, and it did. It caused this atrocity that till this day no one knows like how many people died, and yes, this is a bad thing, and I don't think this should happen. As we could just talk this out, like I just feel like they have a jealousy towards the Chinese race because they were more successful, and I don't think that's like a just go and kill people and have riots. And yeah, so that's kind of my look on it.
Um, for me, I believe that the whole justification that they had created of the economic imbalance, though was prevalent, was only used as well an excuse to commit heinous crimes. I believe that there had to be, in almost a lot of the rioters there had to be some kind of deep rooted racism that they still had experienced. Because these people who are talking, who are all about this the economic imbalance. They all supported that Malay for the Bumiputra, Malay for the Malaysians, which well is inherently a very racist belief, and
Well, and corrupted.
yeah, and very corrupted. And another is that if you look at the timeline, why would they target Indians right after having these atrocities? Why? Because the Indians had almost no input in the situation. Why would they target them? No reason. It was only just an excuse for them to vent out their incredibly racist urges. And that's how I see May 13th. A very racist and a very sad time in our country.
Yeah, this event happened, so we could remind ourselves that like don't do this again. This should not happen again ever in like history of Malaysia. And this
Definitely.
represents us badly. And this video is also no hate to anyone or any groups of people.
That's why I also believe that we can't forget May 13th. We need to stop oppressing May 13th discussion. Because May 13th is an incredibly important time in our history. A time of both corruption and mass racism. Though it might be hard to talk about it, it is important we talk about it. And so I think that's all I really have to say about May 13th. Justin, do you have anything else?
Oh, no, I think that's it for us.
Well, thank you everyone for watching our video. We're gonna be
Thank you.
making a lot of different content, but we like to focus more on history. So if you want a lot of serious and somewhat hard issues to talk about involving history, and you want it condensed and easily digestible, you can always come to us. Give us
Yeah,
any suggestions on what you want to see next. Thank you.
thank you.